Thank you all so much. Welcome to Delta Rho's 60th anniversary today. We're going to begin. We're going to ask everybody to rise real quick to say our national anthem. Pledge of Allegiance. Excuse me, a Pledge of Allegiance.
Mike is right here.
Pledge right there. Rich, you ready? All right. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
Under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to ask everybody to remain standing for another minute. We want to take a moment of silence, actually, real quick. We want to remember the teachers and students at Virginia Tech University earlier this week, those that were killed, injured, and the families right now. We wish them all strength and peace at this time in their lives. We would also like to remember our proud members of our military who serve our country in so many ways. May we remember those who have died or been injured for their service in their country that have affected them, their friends, and their families. May we also remember all those who have suffered any loss. Let us remember with special affection those who have passed away and all those who are remembering them and grieving right now. May we show our leadership in being able to give kindness when there is hurt. May we extend our friendship and compassion towards strangers as well as we do to our friends. And maybe we awaken to the true needs of others when we give our service. Thank you. You may be seated. In part of tonight for service, we have a small service project also that we would like to do. Rich, do you have the flags? The flags. Are you giving out the flags now? Later. Later on throughout the evening, we have small flags that are as part of a Boy Scout project, and we're going to ask everybody to fold them as they go along through the night. Also, if anybody brought non-perishable items, you can give them to me. We have the bin up here. We're going to be donating them to Elijah's Promise in New Brunswick. Yeah. Everybody? Okay. Guys, this is Rich Nervin. He's the president of the Delta Rho Alumni Association.
Hi, everyone. If you didn't register already, try to get up here. You need your name tag, hopefully to get food, okay? I'm glad everyone's here. It took a whole lot of work. It was over a year in the making, this event. And at the same time, the Alumni Association itself was in the making. So there was a lot of starting from scratch to create the whole Alumni Association and coordinating everything to get the 60th to flow. Just to clarify everyone's mind, because there's a lot of confusion for some reason. Just because you graduate Rutgers and you're in the chapter, you're not automatically in the Alumni Association. You have to tell us you want to be in it so we don't spam you and send you email and the whole 9 yards. You got to sign up. You got to fill out the form for it, and then you're in until you tell us you don't want to be in there anymore. That's how it works. There's yearly dues. That's to support us and get us going. For everything you're reading tonight. It's to buy tablecloths, you name it. The dues are for us to be able to operate. Once you pay dues, you can be an active member. You can vote. You can hold office. And you can call meetings. And you can also serve on the Board of Trustees. The Board of Trustees, they're a group of active alumni that get together to decide if and when and how to give money to the chapter. Most other fraternal organizations rely on a very wealthy and very established alumni association. We're 1 year old. We have no money. We're getting off our feet. We need you to pay dues. We need you to be active. We need you to, buy tickets to the 50th, buy the Chinese auction. That money later is going to be given to the chapter. The chapter doesn't get any money from the school at all. They're on their own. So to help them out, the Alumni Association is here. We need your help. The history is pretty easy. It's only a year old. I think Chris actually mentioned the idea, hey, the 60th is next year. You guys want to have a banquet or something? I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. Started investigating it. Found out that the easiest way is to start an alumni association. That was a hell of a lot of work, my God. Lots of hours behind a computer, typing, filling out forms, the IRS application to get nonprofit. We're still waiting on, but to start from scratch to go up took a lot of work. Now it's here. It seems like we're flowing better. The next E-board and next Board of Trustees are going to have a great job because it's going to be set up. They just have to roll with it. I don't really expect the next people, next group, next generation to have any problem. It sounds great. So thank you for being here. Our service project tonight, one, we asked people to bring non-perishable food items. The chapter's going to be in charge of taking that food to food banks and whatnot. If you have it, we got a bin up here for the donations. We also have a very, I think it's a very important, easy service project we can all do. I'm going to pass out American flags. They're about yay big. And they're going to be folded up and sent to troops overseas. I stumbled upon it through searching the web, and we have a couple letters back from troops, not written to us, written to other organizations. It means the world to them. They're over there in the worst conditions. They're in sandstorms. They're sweating. They're tired. They're away from their family. They're over there, and in their heads, they're doing this for us. It's nice when they get something from us saying, you know, we appreciate what you're doing and that you're over there serving. So I'm going to pass out the flags, instructions how to fold them. It's real easy. We can all, if everyone does 3 or 4 flags, we can knock it out real quick. There's 300 flags total to be done. It shouldn't be a problem. After that, I'll pass out the bags. You put them in a little bag that's there with a little note, and we're going to send them over overseas. So that's what we're going to try to do now so that your table doesn't get slopped up with dinner. All right? So we're going to get that done, and then we'll start eating, okay? Keep working. Just listen. I'm going to read this one little paragraph of a letter that was sent from a soldier, okay? I received both the flags that you and your sister sent. I told you it wasn't us. On behalf of everyone who received one, thank you. Everyone was very excited about them. It was like giving candy to kids. They were a real morale booster. I keep mine in my pocket at all times. Every time I take it out, it makes me smile. It's a constant reminder of what we're doing out here. So some little simple, easy flag like this is a real big deal to them, all right? All right, everyone. Number one, thank you to my mom for helping serve all the food. She didn't want me to say anything, but that was awesome. She's mad at me, but I appreciate it. Also, prior to, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago when I really started kicking everything into gear with the 60th, it was all Faye. So, Faye, Bronzo, get your butt up here right now. Thank you to Faye. Next, I'll hand it over to Jackie to present active member cards.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jackie Veazey, just in case you don't know who I am, and I'm the secretary of the Alumni Association. One of the main things that I do is update the member roster when I can beat Rich to it, but we want to thank everybody who's paid dues, and if you've paid dues, you're an active member of the Alumni Association, so we have member cards for you. So if I call your name and you're here, come up and get your member card. Daniel Galliflick. Ivy Cole. Donald Katz. Stephen McCarty. Thank you. Jill Shum. Leslie Servideo. Not here. Dorothy Steely. Ryan Zabady. Thank you.
Okay. Apparently, I just learned this tonight. This is like the 4th or 5th installment of the Del Toro Alumni Association. I had no idea. But pretty much, even though there was prior ones, we had no access to any information or anything, and we really kind of built everything the ground up, and the ball is rolling now. But I couldn't have done it by myself. I have to thank the e-board, and I have some certificates to give them if they could come up. Jackie Veazey, secretary. Thank you, Jackie. Brian Healy, treasurer. Thank you, brother. As of November, we had the Board of Trustees election, and we have, I'll start with the trustees. Dan CG. I should probably read one of these, huh? For your ongoing dedication and service provided in fulfilling the duties and responsibilities of your office after being elected by the Delta Rho Alumni Association to the inaugural Board of Trustees. Presented this 21st day of April, 2007 on the 60th anniversary of Delta Rho Chapter of Alpha Phi Omega, having been witnessed by over 80 brothers in attendance. Thank you, Dan. Jackie Bees again? And Brian Zabany. Here you go, guys. The Board of Trustees themselves elected their two officers, the chairman and vice chairman of the board. The chairman is Chris Duvall. Thank you, Chris. And the vice chair is Ivy Cole. Thanks, guys. And to the chapter, those are the people you want to smooth over. They're giving you money. And I'll turn it over to Brian.
All right. Yeah, as you probably just heard, my name is Brian. I'm the treasurer. Yeah. So give me all your money. No, I'm kidding. And after I give out the awards, I'm gonna do a little bit of talking, and then I'll pass it back over to Rich. We have two special individuals tonight who are receiving lifetime memberships to the Delta Rho Alumni Association. They're the first ones we're giving out. And first one I'm going to give out is to a gentleman who has done so much for the Alumni Association. It's just unbelievable what he's done and what he's pulled off tonight. And the first lifetime award goes to Rich Nerthen. The second award goes to an individual who's been with us for a very, very long time. He's done so much for us, both throughout the chapter and all. And this goes to a person who does it's for his lifetime commitment to the principles of Alpha Phi Omega, service to the Delta Rho chapter, and dedication to the Delta Rho Alumni Association. All the rights and privileges of an active member shall be eternally granted and shall be listed in the database as member number 2. Rich was number 1. I'm proud to present this award to Chris DeVal. Now over to Rich.
Okay. Moving along. To follow your program. I'm going to hand it over to Charlotte Diaz. She's the Region 1 Alumni Coordinator. That's like Maine to what, Delaware? So she traveled pretty far to be here to do this. So Charlotte, come on up.
Hi, congratulations Delta Rho on your 60th. I've been asked here this evening to help install officers from the Alumni Club and officers from the current E-Board. So if you all want to come right up. And if you're all not quite sure who you are, I can read your names off the handy-dandy list that Rich gave me. Okay, so for the Alumni Association, we have Rich Nerthen as the president. We have Brian Healy as the treasurer. We have Jacqueline Veazey as the secretary. Chris Duvall is the chairman of the board of trustees. Ivy Cole is the vice chairman of the board of trustees. Something tells me we've heard these names before this evening. Dan Caleb Glick, a trustee. Brian Zabedy, a trustee. If I butcher anybody's name, please excuse me. Chapter people, we have Stephanie Lee, president. Amina Magul, vice president of service. Anybody coming up from the chapter?
Amina, Steph.
Mohammed Nayimuddin, vice president of membership. Jackie Finelli, sergeant at arms. Swati Patel, treasurer. There you go. More efficient that way. And Vaishali Patel, pledge master.
President's in the bathroom. President's in the bathroom.
We can wait, right?
Look at me, I'm a distraction. I'm a distraction.
Right, so we'll take this opportunity to let you know that I'm your Region 1 alumni rep, so if anybody has any questions, if you want to talk to me, drop off your business cards, if you want my phone number, anything I can help you with, please let me know. Are we all here yet? No. Okay. I could do a little dance for you, I guess.
All right. Rhode Island is neither a road nor an island.
Discuss.
Just sail.
Thank you, Linda Richard. You can do a little stand-up when you're up there.
I tell jokes. I'm not a comedian. There's a difference.
I'd be Jim right now.
Steph, okay. Rich, okay. Game on. Down yonder.
Okay. So, of course, you'll all excuse me as I turn my back to you for a moment so I can address these folks up here. So I can read your name tag because I don't know you all yet. Your brothers in Alpha Phi Omega have shown great confidence in your leadership ability and your sincerity of interest in this program of service by having elected you to the several offices of this chapter and alumni association. Each of you must accept certain definite responsibilities before being officially installed into office. Rich Northern, you have been elected to serve as president of the Alumni Association. Your duties are prescribed in the bylaws. Do you accept these duties as prescribed?
I do.
Brian Healy, you have been elected as treasurer of the Alumni Association. Your duties are prescribed in the bylaws. Do you accept these duties as prescribed?
I do.
Jacqueline Veazey, you have been elected to serve as secretary of the Alumni Association. Your duties are prescribed in the bylaws. Do you accept these duties as prescribed? I do. Chris Duvall, you have been elected to serve as the chairman of the Board of Trustees for the Alumni Association. Your duties are prescribed in the bylaws. Do you accept? Ivy Cole, you have been elected to serve as vice chair of the Board of Trustees of the Alumni Association. Your duties are prescribed in the bylaws. Do you accept these duties as prescribed? Dan Caleb Glick, you have been elected to serve as a trustee of the Alumni Association. Your duties are prescribed in the bylaws. Do you accept them as prescribed? Brian Zebedee, you have been elected to serve as a trustee of this Alumni Association. Your duties are prescribed in the bylaws. Do you accept the duties as prescribed? That was the Alumni Association. Moving on to the current chapter. Stephanie Lee, you have been elected to serve as president of this chapter. Your duties are prescribed in the bylaws. Do you accept these duties as prescribed? Amina Magul, you've been elected to serve as Vice President of Service of this chapter. Your duties are prescribed in the bylaws. Do you accept these duties as prescribed? Mohammed Naimuddin, you have been elected to serve as Vice President of Membership of this chapter. Your duties are prescribed in the bylaws. Do you accept these duties as prescribed? Jackie Finelli, you have been elected to serve as Sergeant at Arms of this chapter. Your duties are prescribed in the bylaws. Do you accept these duties as prescribed? Pledge Master. Very good. Pardon that. Vishali Patel, you've been elected to serve as Pledge Master of this chapter. Your duties are prescribed in the bylaws. Do you accept these duties as prescribed? Okay. Manal, you have been elected to serve as the General Secretary of this chapter. Your duties are prescribed in the bylaws. Do you accept the duties as prescribed? Very well. Inasmuch as each of you has accepted your responsibilities of office, I ask you to raise your hand in the position of our fraternity sign and repeat after me the oath of office. I give your full name one at a time.
I, Rich Sterling. I, Brian Ewing.
I, Jacqueline Macy.
I, Christopher Bell.
I, Abby Cole.
I, Daniel Kill. I, Brian Sabine.
I, Sophie. I, Amina Mogul.
Muhammad Naimuddin. I, Jackie Finale.
I, Vishali Patel. I, Manal Sen.
And now all together. Do hereby solemnly promise. To faithfully discharge the duties of my office. To the best of my abilities. And to give unselfishly. Of my time and energy. In directing this service program. On behalf of Region 1, I charge you to perform the duties of your office in the spirit of love and understanding. Your efforts as officers of this chapter and alumni association will be rewarded only by the satisfaction which you gain in seeing Alpha Phi Omega grow and increase its services to your community. Let us keep our standards high. The fraternity is looking to you for leadership. To you, the brothers and alumni of the Delta Rho chapter of Alpha Phi Omega, I present your new officers, and for them ask your hearty cooperation for the success of their term of office and for the advancement of Alpha Phi Omega. Congratulations to all of you.
All right, thank you, everyone. Just so you realize, the Alumni Association was sworn in for the E-Board, not the Board of Trustees. Kind of weird. We've been holding our position for like over a year, and we just got sworn in. But now it's official. All right. I'm now going to turn it over to Kevin Barnes. He's the chapter's Vice President of Fellowship for the Chapter Awards.
Yeah, Barnes.
And I'm going to sit down.
How you guys doing tonight? Okay, so I'm presenting the superlatives for our chapter. I guess I'll get started right now. Basically, the superlatives are like little tiny awards that we get for like, they're sort of fun things. Like we'll give out awards for being flirtatious, being like the best dressed, being like the king and queen figures. So let's get started. Number one, we have our APO King, and that's going to go to Christopher Garcia. So come on down. Look at that strut, yeah. Next we have the APO Queen. Jen Cronenfeld, come on down. Okay, next we have the APO Prince, so that's kind of like the little version. But again, it goes to Chris Garcia, so come down. Look at that. How does that happen in a family? Next, we have the APO Princess, and that goes to Stephanie Lee. Next, we have our APO Cheerleader, and that goes to Vani Mather. Now we have our APO Taxi, the person who drives everyone around the most, especially me, and that again goes to Jen. Now we have the LNF Rat, the person who spends the most time in the Lost and Found, and that goes to Franklin Coda. Next we have the APO Clown, the person who brings smiles to the fraternity, and that goes to Steve Dolnack. Now we have the APO Flirt, and I think this person already knows, but Parag, come and get it. See that? He knows how to work it. Next we have the APO-holic, the person who spends the most time doing APO things all the time, 24/7. And that's going to go to Stephanie Lee. Now we have the ideal sibling, and that's going to go to Miss Shell Patel. And finally, we have Best Dancer, and that goes to Manal Sampet. And now if I could have Chris Garcia come up and present a couple of awards to the pledges.
I'd like to present the Pledge King Award to Keith Howie. And the Pledge Queen Award goes to Crystal Thorburn. Where? She's outside? I'll accept it for her.
Okay, next we have a few very special awards, and we're going to start with the Philip Nadler Award. For those who aren't familiar, I'm going to read a little excerpt from our program here. Brother Joseph Tapp created the Philip Nadler Award during the fall semester of 2000, named after the founder of the Delta Rho chapter, specifically to honor Brother Audrey Luo. Audrey was not an e-board member, but her contribution to the chapter could not have gone unrecognized. In keeping with the tradition that began in 2000, the Nadler is awarded each semester by the chapter's executive board to a non-executive board member who has generally done the most for Delta Rho. If the DSK is electing a brother into the Delta Rho Hall of Fame, then the Nadler is excellent representation of a Hall of Fame candidate. And this semester, it's going to go to Shel Patel. Okay, and next we're going to do two very important awards, the Distinguished Service Key. And I will read an excerpt from our program about that. The chapter's Distinguished Service Key, DSK, a black service key on a light blue ribbon, is the highest and most honorable award a brother can receive. Recipients are those who have distinguished themselves through an outstanding and unique contribution to our chapter as a whole. They exemplify and demonstrate our cardinal principles, live by the scouting philosophy our fraternity was founded on, and have sustained contribution in a leadership role over a period of time. In sporting terms, think of a DSK recipient as being elected into the Delta Rho Hall of Fame. And I'd like to present the first DSK to Jen Cronenfeld. Oh, and if I could just have all past recipients of the DSK who are present tonight, please stand as Jen receives this honor. And since we don't have the award, we're giving out LNF keys because it's the closest thing I could find. Who doesn't love the LNF? Uh-huh. And I'd like to call Rich to the podium to present the second DSK. Actually, I'm going to do it. All right. So, Nicole Nicosia, please come on down. You've won the second DSK. Congratulations to everyone who won awards tonight.
Thank you, Rich. Stephanie Lee. Stephanie, as president, come on up here. Delta Rho has been on the campus of Rutgers University doing service in the four fields of service of our fraternity for 60 years. Since 1947. Now, I don't think there are too many people, if any people here in this room, who can remember 1947. But I want you all to think about what life was like back then. World War II had just ended. The automobile manufacturers had just started making cars again after building tanks and airplanes and everything else to support the war effort. If you bought a car, you couldn't get air conditioning in it. Every single one of our cars has air conditioning today. Man had yet to put anything into outer space, let alone go to the moon. And here we are 60 years later. We all have cell phones. Many of us found our way to this place using a GPS navigation that relies on satellites. The world has changed dramatically in the last 60 years. For those of you who are currently active brothers in the chapter, I challenge you to think ahead 60 years. What will the world be like? What will Delta Rho be like when you're celebrating your 120th anniversary? And what do you need to do today to put those actions, get things moving in that direction? Stephanie, I'd like to present to you on behalf of the National Fraternity your 60th anniversary certificate, which reads, Alpha Phi Omega National Service Fraternity extends hearty congratulations to Delta Rho, Rutgers, State University of New Jersey, of course they have to spell it out completely, upon its 60th anniversary. This certificate of recognition for faithful service rendered by the chapter, and it is signed by Maggie Katz, National President, Mark Stratton, Vice President and Chairman of the National Awards Committee, and Robert London, who is our National Executive Director. Congratulations.
Thank you. One last thing before we close everything out. Rutgers, the Rutgers Alumni Association, they donated the pins and the sticker. We got 1 million of them left. If you want any, just grab them on your way out. And also, the T-shirt, in case you didn't get a chance to see, also on your way out, we'll be taking orders for it. It's $20 plus $5 to ship it to you, okay? If you don't have the money, because we probably milked you enough with everything, you can buy it online, okay? It's on the website. The website's in the program. Take the program home. Dues, you want to be inactive, you want to hold a position, hopefully the last page of the program booklet has a dues form, has a donation form. If you want everything to go into the endowment fund to give to the chapter or not, everything will be appreciated. Get your letters in the mail. Cake. Let them eat cake. Let's form our fellowship circle and we'll do the toast song. Afterwards, we'll start the music. Is that cool? And then you can grab your cake. Fam took off. In case you forget, stand up, shoulder to shoulder, big circle around the room. Yeah, I think Kevin's going to do something. Kevin Barnes, where you at?